Chosen one, a woman is secretly in love with you but afraid to speak. You are not here by accident, and what you are about to receive is something your heart has been quietly preparing for without even realizing it. This is about a love that has been growing in silence, a feeling that has been guarded with care, and a connection that has been watched over by God with deep intention. There is someone whose heart leans toward you in a way that is pure and sincere, yet fear has kept her still and hidden. This is not confusion, and this is not coincidence, because what is unfolding has a purpose that reaches deeper than what your eyes have seen so far. Stay present in these words, because what you are about to understand will bring clarity, peace, and a new awareness of how God is moving in your life. Type Amen if you believe. There is a gentle truth that has been forming behind the scenes, and it carries a quiet beauty that cannot be forced or rushed. This woman has seen something in you that others may have overlooked, and her heart has responded in a way that feels real and steady. She has watched your strength, your kindness, and your journey, and those moments have slowly built a deep respect that turned into love. Yet inside her, there is also a hesitation that comes from past pain and uncertainty, and that has made her hold back her words. God sees both her love and her fear, and He understands the timing that is needed for something like this to come into the light. If your heart feels a sense of calm or warmth right now, take a moment to show your support by liking the video, because your small action helps this reach someone else who needs this same comfort and direction. What is important for you to understand is that this situation is not meant to bring confusion into your life, but to bring awareness and growth. You are being shown that you are seen, valued, and loved in ways that go beyond what has been spoken to you directly. This kind of love is not loud, and it does not rush forward without thought, because it is built on something deeper than impulse. God is allowing you to sense this truth so that your heart can be prepared not only to receive love, but to understand it in a mature and steady way. This is part of your journey, and it is meant to shape how you move forward with wisdom and grace. There is also something within you that has been growing. Even if you have not fully noticed it, you have been learning patience, and you have been learning how to stand strong in your own identity without needing constant reassurance. This is not by chance, because God has been building you into someone who can handle real love with responsibility and care. The love that is quietly surrounding you right now is not meant to overwhelm you, but to meet you at the right moment when both hearts are ready. That readiness is not only about feelings, but about emotional strength and spiritual alignment. This woman's silence is not rejection, and it is not a lack of feeling. It is a reflection of her inner world, where she is trying to protect herself while also holding on to something that feels meaningful. She has likely faced moments where speaking her heart did not lead to safety or understanding, and that has made her cautious. Yet even in her silence, her actions, her attention, and her energy have been revealing more than words ever could. You just heard something most people never get to hear: that someone's silence toward you is not emptiness. It is love learning how to be brave. That reframe did not happen by accident. Someone before you left a coffee so this message could exist without ads, without a sponsor's agenda sitting between the word and your spirit. That is the whole economy of this place. One person's quiet act becomes another person's quiet revelation. If this shifted something in you, the link is in the description and the pinned comment. Not as payment, as your way of saying, "This one reached me, and because of you, the next man sitting alone tonight, wondering if anyone sees him, will hear these words before his doubt answers first." God sees her struggle, and He is gently guiding her toward courage, step by step, You are being asked to remain calm and grounded, because this is not something that needs to be chased or forced into the open. When something is guided by God, it unfolds with a natural rhythm that cannot be replaced by urgency or pressure. Your role is to stay true to who you are, to continue walking in integrity, and to allow things to develop in their proper time. This is how peace is maintained, and this is how something real is protected from unnecessary damage. There is also a deeper lesson in this for your own heart, and it is about recognizing the value that you carry. You are not invisible, and you are not unnoticed. Even in moments where it may have felt that way, God has allowed someone to see you clearly, and that is a reminder that your presence has meaning. That sentence, "You are not invisible," is the one your spirit needed most, and it is also the one that will fade fastest. By tomorrow, the noise returns. By next week, the old narrative, the one that says no one truly sees you, no one notices what you carry, no one is moved by who you are, that narrative will be louder than this moment. A screen cannot fight that battle for you. It scrolls away, and the old story reclaims the space. That is why the blessing cards exist, not as decoration, as the version of this truth that does not scroll. Words you place where your eyes land first every morning beside your bed, on the mirror, so that when the old narrative arrives before your faith does, the truth is already waiting. They are in the description and the pinned comment. This is not about seeking validation from others, but about understanding that your life reflects something that draws genuine connection. When you understand this, you begin to move with quiet confidence instead of doubt. At the same time, there is a need for gentleness in how this is approached within your own thoughts. There is no need to assume or to create stories that lead to anxiety. This is not a situation that requires overthinking, because God is already in control of the details. Your peace is more important than rushing toward answers, and your clarity will come at the right time. Trusting this process allows your heart to stay open without becoming overwhelmed. There is a quiet beauty in love that grows slowly, because it has time to become strong and rooted. This is not the kind of feeling that fades quickly, because it has been built with care and intention. Even in silence, it carries a presence that is real, and it continues to grow in ways that are not always visible. God is shaping both of your hearts in ways that will allow something meaningful to exist without fear taking over. As you move forward, hold on to peace and do not let uncertainty disturb your spirit. What is meant for you will not pass you by, and what is guided by God will find its way into your life at the right moment. You are not required to control this, and you are not required to force clarity before it's time. Simply remain steady, remain kind, and remain open to what God is preparing for you. Even in her silence, there is a steady presence that continues to stay connected to you in ways that go beyond words. God is allowing this process to continue, because it is shaping both of you in ways that will matter when the moment becomes clear. You may not hear her speak openly, but there are small things that have already been happening around you that carry meaning. The way she notices your presence, the quiet attention she gives, and the subtle care in how she responds to you all reflects something real. These are not actions that come from obligation or habit, because they are rooted in something that feels important to her. She may not yet feel strong enough to say what is in her heart, but her actions are slowly revealing what her words are still holding back. God often allows love to reveal itself in quiet ways before it becomes something spoken. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed a moment, one specific moment, where someone's silence said more than their words ever could? A pause that lasted too long, a look that lingered past what was comfortable, a small act of care that felt deliberate but was never explained. Tell me below. Not a declaration. The actual moment. Because the man reading your comment at midnight is not looking for motivation. He is looking for proof that what he sensed was not his imagination. Your moment becomes his confirmation. I read everyone. There is also something within her that is still learning how to trust again. And that is where her fear comes from. She has known moments where being open led to pain, and that memory has stayed with her. Because of this, she moves carefully, not because she doubts you, but because she is protecting a part of herself that once felt broken. This does not mean her love is weak, because in truth, it is strong enough to stay even while she holds it inside. God understands her journey, and He is gently leading her toward a place where fear will no longer control her choices. At the same time, your presence in her life has been bringing a sense of calm that she does not always understand. There is something about your energy that feels safe to her, even if she has not fully admitted it to herself. This is not something you forced, and it is not something you created through effort alone. It is something that has been allowed to grow because of who you are and the way you carry yourself. God has used your character as a way to bring light into her guarded heart, and that is something you should never underestimate. As this continues, there is a need for you to remain steady and patient, because this is not a situation that benefits from pressure. When something is real, it does not need to be rushed, and it does not need to be forced into existence. Your calm presence already speaks louder than any attempt to push for answers. When you remain grounded, you create a space where her heart can slowly feel safe enough to open. This is how trust grows, and this is how something meaningful is protected from being damaged too soon. Type yes to affirm. There is also a deeper layer to what is happening, and it connects to your own growth and understanding of love. You are being shown that love is not always immediate or loud, and it does not always come with clear declarations from the beginning. Sometimes it begins in silence, and it takes time to build into something that can stand strong without fear. God is teaching you to recognize love in its early and quiet form, so that when it becomes clear, you will understand its value fully. This lesson is important because it shapes how you will carry love in the future. You may feel moments where you sense something is there, even if you cannot explain it fully. That feeling is not something to ignore, because it is part of your awareness growing. God allows these small realizations so that your heart can become more open and more understanding. At the same time, He asks you to stay balanced and not allow your thoughts to become overwhelmed. There is peace in letting things unfold without trying to control every detail. And that peace is what will keep you steady through this process. This woman's silence is not a sign that nothing is happening, because in truth, much is happening within her. She is thinking, she is feeling, and she is slowly working through what she needs to overcome. Her journey is just as important as yours, and it deserves patience and respect. When love is handled with care, it grows stronger, and when it is rushed, it can become fragile. God is protecting this connection by allowing it to move at a pace that both hearts can handle. There will come a moment when what is hidden begins to surface, and that moment will not feel forced or confusing. It will come with a sense of clarity that feels calm rather than overwhelming. This is how you will know that it is guided, because it will not bring chaos into your life. Instead, it will bring a quiet understanding that everything has been unfolding exactly as it should. That is the kind of peace that comes when something is aligned with God's timing. Until that moment arrives, your focus should remain on your own path and your own growth. Continue to be the person you have been becoming, because that is what has already created this connection. You do not need to change yourself or try to become something else to receive what is meant for you. Your authenticity is already enough, And it is what has drawn this love toward you in the first place. God has not made a mistake in how He has shaped you, and you are exactly where you need to be. There is also a sense of healing that is taking place through this connection, even before anything is spoken. Her heart is learning to trust again, and your presence is part of that process. At the same time, your heart is learning to recognize and receive love in a new way. This mutual growth is not random because it is part of something that has been designed to bring both of you into a better place. God often uses quiet connections to prepare people for something greater. Do not let doubt or impatience take away the peace that is meant to stay with you. What is real will not disappear simply because it is not yet visible in full. Love that is guided by God does not fade easily, and it does not lose its way. It continues to move forward, even when it is not being spoken about openly. Trust that what is meant for you is being protected and guided with care. There is something meaningful forming in your life, and it is not something to fear or question with anxiety. It is something to receive with calm and understanding, knowing that it is part of your journey. You are not alone in this, and you are not left to figure it out without guidance. God is present in every step, and He is making sure that what is meant to happen will happen in the right way. The feelings she carries are not built on a single moment, but on many small moments that have slowly shaped her heart. Each time she noticed your kindness, each time she felt your presence bring calm, something inside her became stronger. God has allowed this steady growth so that what is forming will not be easily broken. You may begin to notice that there are certain moments when her attention toward you becomes more visible. Even if she quickly hides it again, there may be small pauses in her words, gentle changes in her tone, or a quiet effort to stay close without drawing attention. These are not random actions, because they come from a place within her that is trying to express something while still holding back. Her heart moves toward you, and then her fear pulls her back, creating a silent struggle that she carries alone. God sees this inner conflict, and He is patiently guiding her through it with care. There is also a sense of timing that must be respected in this situation, because not everything is meant to happen all at once. When something important is rushed, it can lose the strength it needs to last. God is allowing this connection to develop slowly, so that both of you can be ready for what it may become. This is not delay without reason, because every moment of waiting is adding something valuable to the foundation being built. Patience in this season is not a burden, but a quiet preparation for something that will feel right when it arrives. You are also being shaped in ways that you may not fully see yet. And this is part of why things are unfolding as they are. Your ability to remain calm, to stay kind, and to move forward without forcing answers is building a strength within you. This strength will allow you to receive love without fear, and to give love without losing yourself. God is not only preparing her heart, but also preparing yours, so that when the moment comes, it will be handled with wisdom and care. This preparation is something that cannot be rushed, because it is creating something lasting. There are times when you may feel a quiet awareness that something is present, even if you cannot fully explain it. That awareness is not something to ignore, because it is part of your heart becoming more open and understanding. God allows these subtle feelings to guide you without overwhelming you, so that you can stay balanced and at peace. It is important to hold on to that peace, because it will keep you grounded as things continue to unfold. When your heart is calm, you are able to see more clearly and respond with wisdom. This woman's fear is not something that will last forever. Even though it may feel strong right now, fear can only hold someone back for a time, but it cannot stop what is meant to come into the light. As she continues to see your consistency and your steady nature, something within her will begin to shift. No one talks about what the waiting actually feels like from the inside. The first few days after you sense something is there, you feel hopeful, clear, certain that what you felt was real. Then, a week passes and nothing changes on the surface. No words, no confession, no shift you can point to, and doubt walks in wearing the voice of logic. It says you imagined it. It says you read too much into a glance. It says you are building a story out of nothing because you want it too badly. By week 3, the doubt is louder than the original knowing, and you start to feel foolish for ever believing someone could feel that way about you. The blessing cards were written for week 3, not for tonight, when the truth feels undeniable. For the morning, when doubt has erased everything, and all you have left is something on your wall that your clear self placed there when the knowing was still fresh. That version of you, the one hearing this right now, is the only version certain enough to place the anchor. Next week's version will have already started believing the doubt. Place it now. The cards are in the description and the pinned comment. The walls she has built will slowly lose their strength, and the truth she has been holding inside will begin to feel too real to hide. God is gently leading her to that place, and when she reaches it, her courage will speak louder than her fear. There is also something important about the way you respond to this situation within your own heart. You are not meant to become restless or to search for answers in a way that creates pressure. Instead, you are being called to trust the process and to remain focused on your own path. When you do this, you allow things to develop naturally without interfering with the timing that God has set. This trust is not always easy, but it brings a peace that cannot be replaced by certainty gained too soon. You may begin to see that certain moments feel more meaningful than others, even in simple interactions. There may be a quiet connection that feels different from anything you have experienced before. This is not something to overthink, because its meaning will become clear in time. God often allows these small glimpses so that your heart can begin to recognize what is forming. These moments are not meant to confuse you, but to gently prepare you for what is ahead. Her silence is not emptiness, because it is filled with thoughts and feelings that she is still learning how to express. She is not unaware of what she feels, and she is not indifferent to your presence. In truth, she is carrying something that matters deeply to her, and that is why she is careful with it. When something feels important, it is not always easy to speak about it openly. God understands this, and He is giving her the time she needs to move forward with confidence. There is also a sense of protection over this connection that should not be overlooked. Not everything needs to be exposed too early, because some things are meant to grow in quietness before they are seen by others. This protection is not meant to keep you in uncertainty, but to keep what is forming safe from unnecessary pressure. When the time is right, what is hidden will become clear, and it will not bring confusion or doubt. Instead, it will feel natural, as if it was always meant to happen this way. As you continue on your path, remember that your role is not to control this situation, but to remain open and steady. You are not required to chase what is already moving toward you in its own time. What is meant for you will not be lost, and it will not pass you by without reaching you. God is guiding this in a way that will bring peace rather than struggle, and that is something you can trust. There is more ahead than what you can currently see, and it carries a sense of calm that will settle any uncertainty. This is not something that will arrive with chaos, but with clarity that feels gentle and sure. When it comes, you will understand why things had to unfold slowly and why patience was necessary. Until then, hold on to your peace and continue to walk forward with faith. You may notice that her presence around you starts to feel a little different, as if something is changing. Even if no words are spoken yet, there may be a softness in the way she looks at you, or a quiet effort to stay near you a little longer than before. These are not accidental moments, because they come from a heart that is slowly opening. She is testing her own strength, learning how to move beyond the fear that once held her back. God is giving her small moments of confidence, allowing her to take steps that feel safe but meaningful. At the same time, there is something within you that is becoming more aware and more understanding. You are beginning to sense that what you once could not explain is now becoming clearer in subtle ways. This awareness is not meant to make you restless, but to bring a quiet sense of readiness. God is preparing your heart so that when the truth becomes visible, you will receive it with calm and wisdom. This preparation is important because it ensures that what comes into your life will be handled with care and not confusion. There is also a deeper peace that is meant to stay with you during this time, even as things begin to shift. You are not meant to feel anxious or uncertain, because what is unfolding is not unstable. It is grounded in something real, something that has been built over time with intention and care. When you hold on to this peace, you allow the situation to continue growing without interference. This is how something meaningful is protected, and this is how it reaches its full form. Her fear is slowly losing its hold, not because it has disappeared completely, but because her love is becoming stronger than it. There are two kinds of men hearing this right now. The first felt his chest tighten the moment I described her silence, because he already knows who she is. Her face appeared without permission. He has been carrying this awareness for weeks, maybe months, afraid to name it because naming it makes it real, and real things can be lost. The second is still unsure, still wondering if any of this applies to him, still telling himself that no one could be feeling something that quietly towards someone like him. This message exists for both, and it exists without ads, without a paywall, without anyone's agenda between this word and a man's quiet Tuesday night, because someone before him left a coffee. If you are the first kind, you know what this word just confirmed. If you leave a coffee, someone who is still the second kind, the one who does not yet believe he is worth being loved, in silence, gets one more chance to hear what his doubt has been drowning out. The link is in the description and the pinned. There comes a point when what is felt inside becomes too real to remain hidden, and she is approaching that point. The more she sees your consistency, your kindness, and your calm presence, the more her trust begins to grow. Trust is what weakens fear, and trust is what gives her the courage to move forward. God is allowing this transformation to happen naturally, so that when she speaks, it will come from a place of truth and strength. You are also being reminded that you do not need to change who you are to receive what is meant for you. The way you have been living, the way you have been growing, and the way you have been carrying yourself is already enough. This connection has formed because of who you are, not because of anything you tried to force. God has shaped you in a way that attracts something genuine, and that is something you should continue to honor. Staying true to yourself is what will allow this to unfold in the best way possible. There may be moments when you feel a quiet anticipation, as if something is getting closer to becoming clear. That feeling is not meant to create pressure, but to remind you that things are moving forward. God does not leave things unfinished, and He does not bring something into your life without purpose. What has begun will continue, and what has been forming will find its way into the light. This is something you can trust without needing to rush or control it. There is also a sense of healing that continues to take place through this connection. even before it is fully revealed. Her heart is learning that it is safe to feel again, and your presence is part of that process. At the same time, your heart is learning how to receive something real without fear or doubt. This shared growth is not something that happens by chance, because it is part of a greater plan that is unfolding with care. God is using this connection to bring both of you into a better place. As this continues, you may begin to see clearer signs that something is about to change. These signs will not feel confusing, because they will come with a sense of calm understanding. You will feel that something is different, not in a way that creates uncertainty, but in a way that brings clarity. This is how you will know that the moment is approaching, because it will feel natural rather than forced. God's timing always carries this kind of peace. Her heart is no longer able to stay silent in the same way it once did, because what she feels has grown beyond what silence can hold. There is a point where truth begins to rise, and that is where she is being led. She is learning to trust not only you, but also herself. And that is an important step. When she reaches that place fully, her words will come with honesty and depth. God is guiding her to that moment, making sure she is ready to speak from a place of strength. Your role remains the same, and it is one of calm presence and steady faith. You are not required to push anything forward, because what is meant to happen is already moving. When you stay grounded, you create the space for things to unfold without pressure. This is what allows something real to come into your life without being disrupted. Trusting this process is what will keep your heart at peace. There is something beautiful about the way this is coming together, because it is not based on sudden emotion, but on something that has been built with care. This kind of love is not easily shaken, because it has taken time to form. When it finally becomes clear, it will carry a sense of certainty that does not need to be questioned. That is the kind of clarity that comes when something is guided by God. Continue to move forward with confidence and calmness, knowing that you are not missing what is meant for you. Everything that is meant to reach you is already finding its way, even if it has not fully arrived yet. You are not being left behind, and you are not being overlooked. God is present in every step, guiding this connection toward its proper moment. The hesitation that once held her back is beginning to loosen, because the weight of her feelings has become stronger than the fear she once relied on. God is gently guiding her toward a moment of honesty, where what is hidden will begin to come into the light. You may start to notice a deeper sense of intention in the way she interacts with you, as if her actions are no longer as guarded as they once were. There may be a softness that lingers longer, or a quiet effort to show care in ways that feel more direct. These changes are not sudden, but they are meaningful, because they reflect the shift happening within her. She is no longer only observing from a distance, but slowly allowing herself to be present in a more open way. God is giving her the strength to move beyond her fear, one step at a time. At the same time, your own heart is being prepared to receive what is coming with calmness and clarity. You are not being left unaware, because there is a quiet understanding forming within you that something is about to change. This understanding is not overwhelming, because it comes with peace rather than confusion. God is making sure that when the moment arrives, you will not feel lost or uncertain. Instead, you will feel ready in a way that is steady and grounded. There is also a deeper sense of trust that is being built between both of you, even without words. Trust does not always begin with spoken truth, because it often starts in the way people treat each other over time. The consistency you have shown has created a space where her heart feels safe enough to begin opening. This is something that cannot be forced, because it comes from genuine experience and quiet observation. God has allowed this trust to grow slowly, so that it will be strong when it is needed most. The moment she speaks will not feel sudden or confusing, because it will come with a sense of calm that makes everything clear. There will be no need to question what is being said, because it will carry a truth that is easy to recognize. This is how you will know that it is real, because it will not bring doubt or hesitation into your heart. Instead, it will feel like something that has been forming for a long time is finally being revealed. God's timing brings this kind of clarity, where everything aligns without struggle. Her journey to this point has not been easy, and it is important to understand the strength it takes for her to reach it. She has had to face her own fears, her own past, and the uncertainty of what might happen when she finally speaks. This is not a small step for her because it requires vulnerability and courage at the same time. God has been working within her, giving her the ability to move forward even when it feels difficult. When she speaks, it will come from a place that has been carefully shaped through her growth. I want you to do something right now. Look at the place in your room where your eyes land first. Every morning, the nightstand, the wall beside the door, the mirror you face before you face the day. That spot is currently empty, or it holds something that carries no weight. Now imagine a card there, not with my words, with the words your spirit chose on the night you finally believed that someone sees you and is quietly learning how to say it. That card says what you will need to hear on the morning when you wake up and the old voice returns, the one that whispers no one notices you, no one stays, no one feels that way about someone like you. You will not remember this video in 30 days, but you will see that card every single morning, and every morning it will remind you of the night you stopped doubting what your spirit already knew. They are in the description and the pinned comment. You are also being called to respond with understanding and patience when that moment comes. This is not something to handle with pressure or expectation, because it is something that deserves care. The way you receive her truth will matter, because it will shape what comes next. God is asking you to remain kind, calm, and open, allowing the situation to unfold naturally without rushing it. This is how something meaningful continues to grow in a healthy way. There is also a reminder for you to stay grounded in your own identity and your own path. This connection is important, but it is not meant to take away from who you are or what you are becoming. You are still walking your own journey, and that journey has its own purpose. God is bringing this into your life as part of that path, not as something separate from it. When you stay centered, you are able to receive what is given without losing yourself in the process. As everything continues to unfold, there will be a sense of peace that remains with you even as things become more clear. This peace is not something that fades, because it comes from knowing that what is happening is guided. You will not feel overwhelmed because everything will happen in a way that feels right.